Hey guys, just finished watching The Gifted. Got your siX season 1 episode 6. This episode was pretty interesting. I mean, different things going on. Getting the flashback at the beginning of the episode, with what's his face, Thunder or stuff like that, Thunderbird. It was pretty cool seeing the different things going on. There's some things that kind of annoy me with the setup for the next week's episode and stuff like that. With Eclipse, being involved in this, his ex-girlfriend using him and stuff like that, with trying to do some stuff and blackmailing him and all that stuff. And then I find that storyline is just kind of like, oh, it's just a waste of. I'm annoyed by it. I understand they have to have something to kind of slow things down so that they have to get to a certain point. Which I'm still interested to see how many episodes we're supposed to get, but still says here on IMDb about 10, and the same thing on other stuff there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how long we get this, and hopefully we don't get, if this is episode 6, we don't get 7, 8 being just Eclipse being distracted by his ex-girlfriend and her gangster business or whatever, things like that, her being a gangster and all that stuff, and or mobster and being part of the mob or something. And that's just kind of, I understand they gotta bring that back up, the fact that he used it and all that stuff, but I don't know, I'm just kind of going to get annoyed. I mean, I know we haven't had that storyline yet to see how it goes and stuff, because hopefully they do something really interesting with it, but I'm just kind of, the idea of it annoys me to do it, and so it's just going to be annoying to see that in next week's episode. But this episode was interesting, dealing with the Strucker kids and the parents, reacting to it, and it was cool seeing the whole Reed Strucker and Andy Strucker kind of, him not being sure about his son's powers, and then kind of talking about it and getting over that a little bit. But yet we didn't get anything about Kate Strucker and and Lauren Strucker getting over them talking about their powers, and Kate deciding that it's interesting that she has that point of view where she doesn't want her kids to do anything, get into any harm, blah, blah, blah. She has to get over the fact that they're mutants, they're gonna have to be fighting for the rest of their lives whether they want to and stuff like that, so whether they want to or not. So it's going to be interesting to see where things go with that and build on to that, and have things to continue on, and see their different opinions on the way they use their powers. And I would like to see them learn to control their powers a bit more. I mean, in this episode, Andy is able to focus his powers, but we didn't see the training to where he learned how to do that. I mean, last week's episode, if I'm not mistaken, his sister Lauren had to be there to help use her power to control his power. So it would have been cool to see him, doing different things, trying to control it. Maybe eventually be able to pinpoint it. Maybe next week's episode, after he's learned to do that, maybe he's able to just pop like a soda can and maybe get it that small, and then be able to do different things, and he'd be way more useful once he gets able to control it. But I think it would be cool to see different ways they learn to control. I mean, I'd like to see more of this kind of Polaris using her powers to kind of teach people and stuff. I just don't understand that the magician kid there who can make things disappear, who was hitting on Lauren and stuff, she was going to throw the saw blade at him. What is he supposed to do with his powers? His powers are not defensive, or even, I guess it's a defensive power and not an offensive power. Be able to go invisible. I mean, it's defensive power. It's gonna be interesting to see where that goes with that, and see how he can continue that. Although I thought it was kind of silly that he was able to make the bus disappear from the cops. That was pretty cool, and tricked them into thinking they went different ways and stuff. But I think it would have been cool to see, he should have jumped down and sat on the top of the bus from then on, so that anyone who saw him, he could just keep his powers on. Because I feel like once they realize they can't find them that way, and they're going to come back and go that way, it just seemed a bit silly for him to, let go of his powers so early on after, losing the cops. It would have been, for me, it would have been better to have him, if Polaris could have used something on the metal around there and kind of used that to kind of float him over, so that he could sit on top of the bed of the truck, so that he could make sure no one saw them coming at all and stuff like that. So, from the cops and stuff. And it would also be cool to see if this guy can do different things. Can he, from certain people. Like, you couldn't make the truck completely invisible, because cars would just smash into them and they would, then all of a sudden they get found and stuff. But making the cops being the only ones not seeing them type thing, that would be an interesting thing to see his powers if they grow and stuff. But again, in this episode we get that dark guy with like the one eye and this crack and he's all like black and stuff. I need to see what his powers are. I feel like his powers are going to be really awesome, and I can't wait to see where he comes in and stuff, because there's so many characters that we see talking here and there, and they say something, at the headquarters, but yet they never do anything with fighting or anything like that, and I want to see what their powers are, so it would be cool to see that. And I'm surprised so many characters have interacted with him, and even, what's-her-face, Kate Strucker has even interacted with him a lot, and it's never asked what his powers are or anything like that. So that would be a cool thing to see her ask in next week's episode, or see what his powers are. But it was also really cool in this episode seeing Dreamer and Thunderbird talking about how Thunderbird was recruited by the X-Men to be a part of this and stuff, and he was told by the X-Men to do this. So that would be cool to see that flashback eventually. I don't know if we get to see that maybe in episode like 9 or something like that, if 10 is our last episode, like just before last episode or something. That would be kind of cool seeing that. Who knows which Marvel character it would be kind of interesting. I mean, one of the things is, Stephen Moyer's Reed Strucker, Stephen Moyer, his wife is actually Anna Paquin and stuff, so maybe the whole Bryan Singer connection and the Stephen Moyer connection could get her on this show and stuff. That could be cool. But I just connecting it, since this is in the same universe, if I'm not mistaken, as Days of Future Past and all those movies and stuff like that. I don't know if Rogue would be the one to make that decision. It would be much more cooler to see someone like Cyclops and stuff like that in this universe, being the person. But I doubt we would even see someone like that. But maybe we can see someone like that somehow, kind of the way they did Superman on the first season of Supergirl. How you never actually saw him, they never casted anyone, they never let anyone know who he is or what he looks like. You just saw a blurry version of him every now and here and there. And you only saw bits and pieces of him, throughout the season and stuff. So that could be a cool way to do it. Maybe we get a flashback of him, without seeing who it is, type thing. Or maybe we get a Cyclops and he's completely in costume, where his face is completely covered, and that's why we don't need to cast an actor or anything like that. He's never doesn't even know it's Scott Summers. He just knows that. Thunderbird doesn't even know it's Scott Summers is Cyclops. He just knows it's Cyclops, the X-Men type of thing. That could be cool. Or even getting some sort of a Magneto thing would be a Magneto. Professor X could be the one to tell him. Who knows? You could definitely be interested to see. I would definitely like to see who told him to do this, and see that conversation or hear that conversation again, a bit more detail, like what exactly they were told and stuff, what he was told. And even just name dropping who told him and stuff, that would be cool. Who has he met? Did he meet just the one X-Men? Did he meet a bunch of the X-Men, and all that stuff? And that would be cool. So maybe we'll get to see that, or maybe that could be a flashback for season 2 or something like that. That could be cool. Or maybe we could see them at the end of the season. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it's also going to be interesting to see how this, if Disney buys out Fox and stuff, how this is going to affect this show. I have a feeling it wouldn't affect this show too much. People would just start getting paid by Disney rather than get paid by Fox, unless for some reason they didn't get any of the TV rights. But then things would still still stay the same, because Disney and Fox already have a deal for this show. So I think this show should be fine no matter what happens through this, whether Disney buys the TV rights or not the TV rights and stuff. So, and if I'm not mistaken, Disney already owns the TV rights for this. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think it'll affect this show whatsoever. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. And what was your favorite part of this episode? It's also cool seeing Blink disappearing and then kind of teasing that she's somewhere. I mean, it's interesting seeing where she is, but then not seeing. But it was kind of like they showed us where she is, but it was like, okay, she's here, but it was like, didn't give me anything by saying where she is. It was kind of weird. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where things go with this. Also, we'll see where things go with Turner, Jace Turner, and him, losing his memory and all that stuff, and that one guy trying to that guy trying to get into the is it Dr. Campbell and stuff, trying to get into the whole place and using mutants as powers and stuff. And how is he? What is that? Like Dr. Campbell has that other guy next to him, who looks like he has some sort of powers or something. He does have that mark on him. It would be cool to see where that guy's powers are and where things come in with that. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes up. So all in all, I'm excited for the future of this. I'm just kind of disappointed in the whole, Eclipse mafia mobster storyline. That does not interest me whatsoever. That it just seems kind of. I feel like I've seen that story before, he's going to get told to use this and he's going to use his skills, his powers, whatever, for bad, and he's going to have to, find a way to get over that and stuff. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes, but I hope it doesn't last too long if we only actually have 4 episodes left, so 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we only have 4 episodes left, it would be, hopefully that doesn't take up too much. It would be cool to be more realistic, as if, he actually told... if Eclipse tells other people, like Thunderbird and all that stuff, and they get a bunch of, since there's supposed to be more mutants coming to this place, even more mutants now, it would be cool if they took some of the scarier powers mutants to bring to see his mobster ex-girlfriend and scare the living crap out of her, type thing. That would be really cool. Or even just he could probably even bring Dreamer to just kind of erase her memory of him. If I'm not mistaken, type of thing. So that would be cool. As if he brought someone and it only lasted 1 episode. Maybe that black guy with like the one eye and the crack on his face there, the shattered face. I'll call him Shatterface, but maybe he has some sort of terrifying power that could just terrify the crap out of her, or even some sort of mind wiping power, just like. I guess with Dreamer, she could do what she did to Jace Turner and just wipe everyone's mind. His ex-girlfriend, all her minions and stuff, and they're just all like have no memory of anything of who they are or anything like that. I mean, they're all criminals anyway, so they would all deserve it, right? So I think it'd be really cool to see that, and that way that mobster storyline doesn't last more than another episode and can just be pushed away, type of thing, because I'm not into that at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Definitely can't wait to see where things go with all that, and we'll see how things turn out. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. What was your favorite part? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.